Hey, it's Dr. Amanda with StraightSmile Solutions, StraightSmileSolutions.com, and let's talk about Invisalign Express. I see this probably every week. One of my clients will pitch me a case and say, hey, we want to do Express, or hey, I've got this Express case, not sure why I have 4 refinements. So I just wanted to clarify a few things. If you want to know a little bit more about Invisalign options, what's included, what's recommended, pros and cons, I suggest you go into my Invisalign playlist. It is free orthodontic education and it is unbiased orthodontic education. That means the stuff that you're going to learn within your Invisalign portal is helpful, and I don't think that their classes are wrong, and I think it's great. But the stuff that we have is free and totally unbiased. We're going to tell you the total truth. Everything within the Invisalign portal, its education, is biased. Take it with a grain of salt, and a lot of it's wrong. So I would recommend you learn from us, at the beginning, and then look at their education with a grain of salt. Keep in mind that, I'm not going to go into that because I don't want to get any letters from their lawyers again. So anyways, but here's my opinion, okay? So first of all, go how to get to our Invisalign playlist. I think we have almost 200 videos to date that are all different things about Invisalign. So if you want to learn more about Invisalign, menu, different products, you can put in the word Express, Invisalign, and search that, Express, or Invisalign, Go, Invisalign, Moderate, and check it out. Keep in mind that the menu and what's available is a little bit different in every country. So I'm speaking from what it's like in the United States in terms of costs and what's included and features and things like that. I have found in other countries it's very different. So I do often work with clients in many different countries. So just keep that in mind. You'll need to look at your own terms of service, talk to your own territory manager, and see what's included. But in the US, we do have an Invisalign Express 5, Invisalign Express 7, and Invisalign Express 10. I never, ever, ever recommend using 5 and 10 because they come with 0 refinements, whereas 7 comes with 1 refinement. So the funny thing is, that means you get 14 aligners instead of 7. So it's better than a 10, right? So duh. And it's cheaper than the 10. So it's a no-brainer to me. But it's very, very, very rare that I can find a case that could be an Invisalign Express 7. And as an orthodontist, I feel very confident in case selection and being able to pick the right thing, but I find most general and pediatric dentists make huge mistakes. Remember, if you submit a case and you mark that you want Invisalign Express 7, even if it's not a quality case, unless it's like way out of left field, they are not going to say no to it. They might give you a little disclaimer and be like, this may not be probable or predictable, and they might not say it at all, but they're not going to tell you no. It's just not going to happen. And then what? Yes, you get that 1 refinement. That's great. But you're probably going to need more, and those are going to cost you megabucks, and you're going to end up spending more than you would have ever spent to have less access to other features and to have a worse outcome. So just don't do it. But anyways, let's go ahead again and tell you where to access all of our free Invisalign educational resources. Go to your YouTube channel. In the search bar at the top, put in the word StraightSmile Solutions. That will bring you to our YouTube channel. I'm guessing if you're watching this, you probably are already in it, but you never know. Sometimes they show up on like Facebook or LinkedIn or something like that. Once you're in our YouTube channel, you'll be on the homepage. Go ahead and scroll down, and there's a 10 or 12 different playlists. The Invisalign one should be towards the top somewhere. There's almost 200 videos there. This basically could keep you really busy for a few months with free orthodontic education. You can click through the videos you think are important and relevant. But this is how I pick an Invisalign Express case. Again, I rarely find a case that can do Invisalign Express. What am I looking for? First of all, I never submit a case under Express. Never, never, never. Or Light even. I submit everything under Comprehensive. I work it up to Ideal. I use the features that are available. And if I find that certain things are possible and it maybe is a good case, then I will scale it back and change it to an Express, or change it to a Light, or change it to a Moderate. Does that make sense? Because if you submit it under Express, they're just going to try to make do under the Express thing, even if it's not possible. Does that make sense? But they're not going to optimize it, and you won't have access to the features that you need or the tools that you need, okay? So if I can teach you anything, never submit under Express, never submit under Light. Yes, sometimes I do it, but I know what I'm doing. That's the difference. Let's say we put a case under Comprehensive, but in our mind we're thinking, I wonder if this could be an Express 7 case. What am I looking for? Well, when it comes back, I am looking, first of all, I want to click that Bolton button on the top right. And if you're doing this on a phone or a tablet, it might be buried under tools or some of these other sub-tabs. So you need to look for that big B, Bolton. If you don't know what a Bolton discrepancy is, that's a whole nother conversation. You need to watch my video on Bolton discrepancies. Again, go to my YouTube channel. Then in the little, this won't be on a playlist. There's a little magnifying glass that's towards the top right, not in the corner, but top right. Put in the word Bolton and watch that video, because this whole conversation is gonna make zero sense to you unless you understand what a Bolton discrepancy is. Okay, so click the Bolton tab. You need to pick a case that has no lower 6 to 6 Bolton discrepancy. It can be an upper, but it can't be a lower, okay? That's key, because if I have a lower Bolton discrepancy, I need lower IPR. Anytime you need IPR, it is not an express or a light case. It has been moved to moderate or comprehensive. Now, sure, you can leave some spaces on the top, distal to the canines, distal to the laterals, but guess what? 9 times out of 10, patients say that's okay. When you do it, they don't like it. So unless you've built veneers or restorations or crowns into your treatment plan, I still wouldn't even be doing that with an express or light case, because I think that's super hecka risky. Unless you built that in and the patient has put a 50% deposit down on the restorations, it's not happening, okay? So we click the Bolton button, number 1. No mandibular Bolton discrepancy on 6 to 6. Ignore the 3 to 3, okay? It can be a 0 or it can be a maxillary one, but no mandibular one. That's the number 1 thing. Number 2, I don't want to see anything but a class 1 mild case. No more than 2 millimeters of crowding. 2. Mild is 2 or less, or spacing. This basically, you're gonna look at this case and it needs to look just about perfect, but a tiny little bitty wonkiness in a tooth or 2, either some space or crowding. It's gotta be like almost a perfect case, okay? No Bolton discrepancy, no IPR is needed, no vertical issues, no deep bite, no overjet, no anterior interferences, no anterior collisions. When you check the initial occlusion at stage 0, there should be no anterior contacts. There's a lot of things I'm looking for. Again, I want a slam dunk case, a really predictable 7 aligner case, even though I know I have wiggle room for another 7 aligners. But I know if I've got anterior issues, if I have bite issues, if I have a Bolton, I know I'm gonna need IPR, no IPR, okay? That's the type of case that I'm looking for. And again, if you're just trying to do an improved case and you're using Express, you're not fixing everything, like, oh, patient doesn't care about their overjet. You have to always, you can't just do that. First of all, you have to be careful, because if you're doing something like that, you cannot be charging comprehensive for insurance. You need to charge limited, okay? Which changes your reimbursement and changes the patient portion about what you get back. So you gotta be careful with that. That could be considered insurance fraud. It's a real gray area. So be careful, letting the patient dictate treatment. Secondarily, if you did bill insurance for comprehensive and you were just doing some type of limited treatment, patient has a right to complain later, to either your dental board or to the insurance, saying you did not give them what they billed for. So you gotta be careful. If you have cases like that, and I know a lot of you do, it's time for you to really have that conversation with the patient. Hey, I know that we did an anterior only treatment. I know that you said what you wanted. Let's make sure we need to put that in writing, basically. You're gonna have to backstep and put it in writing to cover yourself, because they'll have up to 7 years to complain about this later, and you don't wanna deal with that and have that hanging over your head. I like to sleep well at night. And by the way, I'm not getting involved in anyone's masses. If you did this, do not contact me if you're a patient, because I'm not helping you guys with this. A lot of you contact me, hey, help me get my doctor in trouble, tell me that I don't work with consumers at all. I will not look at your cases. If you send us a case through email, it'll automatically be deleted. There'll be 0 response. So do not send us cases. If you feel like you've had treatment and you're not satisfied with it as a consumer, you need to go find an orthodontist in your neighborhood. And the orthodontist will take a look at it and possibly retreat. Now, if there's a problem you have with your previous treatment, that's really on you to try to figure that out, but I'm not gonna help you with that. I just wanna put that out there, because all the time, consumers contacting me, and I'm not here to throw any other doctors under the bus. We are an educational platform for dentists. We teach dentists things. Now, I know consumers watch our channel. That's great, always good for people to get educated, but unfortunately, we don't work with you. That's not part of our business platform. You need to go find an orthodontist in your neighborhood and have a consult with them for a second opinion, okay? All right, so that's pretty much what I had. So moral of the story, don't submit under Express. Don't even do Express unless you know what you're doing. Take it with a grain of salt, submit everything under comprehensive. If I submitted under comprehensive and it looked like it was a crazy easy case and they told me that it was supposed to be 3 aligners, Then I might, with no IPR, then I might consider doing Express, because guess what? Anything they tell me, I always double it. I subscribe to the double it theory. 3 aligners is not going to ever be predictable. It's probably going to be a 6 or a 7 if they tell you 3. If they tell you it's 10, it's 20. If they tell you it's 20, it's 40. That's the only way to make Invisalign predictable, because they're always rushing their treatment plans. And the way that they do their treatment plans helps them to save money on overhead, right? You know, by cutting out some of the aligners, because they're going to get paid the same regardless. But if you want your case to be more predictable, you need to make the stages and the sequencing a little bit slower. Slow it down. It's going to be, first of all, more predictable, less likely to have revisions and refinements. It's going to be more comfortable for the patient. Patient's going to have to wear their aligners, change more frequently, which is going to be healthier and cleaner for them. Also, like I said, less revisions, refinements, better outcomes. There's a lot of benefits to that. There's no risk to this, so you should always subscribe to the double it policy. All right, thanks so much.